more. Ryan Patel joins us now from Los Angeles. He is a global business executive and a senior fellow at Claremont Graduate University's Drucker School of Management. Ryan, let's break it down into two buckets. Let's start with domestic. Just spoke to someone in Beijing yesterday. They said, look, I'm checking out. You won't be able to talk to me for a little bit of time, probably May 6th or so. This is a big, big holiday. We've got millions of people on the move. What does it mean for the economy?
Well, I think it means everything. When you talk about the timing of it, right? May Day starts the week of the Golden Week, and part of it is to help boost consumer spending, right? When you have time off, you want to go spend that. And in China, it is not something, it's a one-off. This is a culture that continues to do this. This is the time for other countries who don't know this holiday. It's meant to go to other cities within China, other places to boost tourism, not just internationally, but domestically. And so I think the timing for the China economy, it was much needed, because if it wants to continue to hit their targets for the rest of the year, this week is really important for the economy to see what that spending looks like, and also to see what industries actually continue to go year over year, percentage-wise, growing at the same time.
And Ryan, you hit the other bucket, which is international. We just had the piece there about China instituting these visa-free agreements with countries in Europe and Asia. One of the gentlemen there was just talking about, I don't have to wait a couple of months. I can just book a ticket and I'm on my way. What does this mean in terms of potential for inbound tourism? Because these moves are going to have an impact, aren't they?
Oh, Mike, you hit it right on top of the head. I think this is not just for this week. You think about what that meant, and they were able to do it this week, meaning China's able to do this, institute this visa-free policy. Mike, imagine if you needed to boost the economy a little bit more in the future, not just to say in this golden week for China. They just had an example that they can do that. And so I think it's an interesting, I'm interested to see what the numbers look like. You reported that some of the numbers, what it looked like thus far through the airport. I mean, and that smooth transitions between countries. It's almost like it's an immediate influx of revenue for China in the tourism, and it helped boost it too. So who knows that this is not something a thing just for this week. They can easily have other kind of partnerships with other kind of countries to do that. So it is very interesting, because it is very unique at the same time.
And Ryan, you mentioned year over year. That's what a lot of folks look at. Where do you see 2024 as kind of a bright spot? Is it going to be tourism?
I mean, it has to be. I think when you think of what's going on in China, the economy domestically, right? Yeah, it is going through some bumps and trying to get that same growth number. But we know to get those double-digit growth numbers again, it's very hard to do, Mike. It doesn't matter who you are. And so it is going to have to be tourism being kind of the driver back into China and making that ease of use, and not just from a business perspective of companies wanting to do business there, it's tourism from other places. So I think tourism will be an interesting spotlight, because I think it'll be one of the major growth avenues for China to use that baseline, and hopefully the Chinese economy for next year, how does it catch up with bringing the domestic along the lines with international tourism.
And you mentioned folks on the move and kind of that lure, people trying to attract those folks to their communities. A little bit later on the broadcast, we're going to show efforts on the part of Hong Kong to try and lure tourists from the mainland. What do you think about that effort?
I mean, it's necessary, Mike. I mean, I think Hong Kong was set up to do that, right? You've seen hotels, restaurants putting promotions to make it, to make it easier for people to come in and want to stay there. So this is not one of those things if people watching at home going, well, here's a holiday, people will come. No, you have to be aggressive with sales and promotions. This is the week to do that, to get people to come. And so we're seeing that from out of Hong Kong very aggressively, and that's why you see some of the numbers in the millions on the move, if it's air or railroad or plane, of how the mode of transportation can be. And I think also the spending too. I think there are some consumers not wanting to spend as much, so when you can see these promotions and discounts, it allows people to want to do it now versus waiting off.
Yeah, Ryan, we're going to keep our eye on it. Thank you so much for your insights.
Thanks, Mike.